1923 just did two things to foreshadow Timothy Dalton's villain death. 1923 Season 2, Episode 4, Journey the Rivers of Iron, foreshadowed Donald Whitfield's death, teasing that Timothy Dalton's Yellowstone character's end could be near. Whitfield has terrorized the Dutton family since 1923 Season 1, supporting Banner Creighton's Jerome Flynn mission to assume control of the Yellowstone ranch. While Creighton takes a more violent approach in 1923 Season 1, shooting at members of the clan and causing multiple deaths in the Dutton family, Whitfield has been more conniving and calculated. In 1923 Season 2, Episode 4, Whitfield unveils his plan to build a winter park on the Dutton's land. 1923 Season 1 ended with Whitfield revealing that he paid the Yellowstone Ranch's property taxes. Thus, the land will be his if Jacob Dutton, Harrison Ford, can't afford the bill. Whitfield's actions throughout 1923, including his cruel and sadistic treatment of two sex workers, highlight the deep-seated nature of Donald's malicious intentions. Still, while Whitfield is primed to take over the ranch in 1923 Season 2, we know he fails. The 1923 story continues into the modern era with John, Kevin Costner, and his family living on the ranch in Yellowstone. In Journey the Rivers of Iron, 1923 Season 2 foreshadows the origins of the train station, the unpopulated region in Wyoming where John Dutton and his ranch hands dump the dead bodies of their enemies. After Banner has a serious conversation with his wife, committing to form an army, he comes to Whitfield's mansion and asks how the mining tycoon wants the war waged. Donald tells Banner that he once waged war on the Dutton family but was unsuccessful. Then Whitfield instructs Creighton to dump their bodies across the Wyoming border, implying Banner needs to finish the job. Of course, anyone who's seen Yellowstone knows Whitfield is talking about the train station when he describes the area with the following characteristics: a county with no township, no private land, and a zero population. While Whitfield instructs Banner to dump the Dutton family at the train station, it's much more likely that Donald will end up there himself, with Banner possibly telling the Duttons about it. John Dutton and his family have used the train station for years, and Whitfield could have been the first of many enemies to receive a one-way ticket there. Aside from establishing the Dutton family's central hub for dumping the bodies of their enemies, 1923 Season 2 foreshadowed Donald Whitfield's death with the development of the sex worker who lives in his mansion. Whitfield cohabits with Lindy, Madison Elise Rogers, and Christy, Kaylin Rice, two sex workers from 1923 Season 1. In 1923 Season 2, Episode 4, Donald Whitfield's controversial relationship with Lindy turns sinister. As Whitfield tells Banner to dump the dead bodies in Wyoming, Lindy comes in to reveal that she choked Christy to death, which was allegedly an accident, contrasting Lindy's remorselessness. While Whitfield proclaims that he created a monster from Lindy, Episode 4 suggests she is sadistically hardwired like her counterpart. Now that 1923 Season 2 has revealed that Whitfield's most intimate ally also takes pleasure in the pain and torturing of others, the partnership could backfire. Lindy has access to Whitfield's home and trust, and is in the perfect position to cross him. Despite Whitfield's unveiling of his plan for a winter park to great success, 1923 foreshadows the villain's death, and Episode 4 makes it all the more likely that Lindy, or Banner, will be the one to kill him. Taylor Sheridan's 1923 has masterfully woven tension and foreshadowing into its storytelling, and the fate of Timothy Dalton's villainous Donald Whitfield seems all but sealed. As the season unfolds, two key developments have subtly, yet unmistakably, signaled his impending demise. Sheridan's Yellowstone prequel is no stranger to ruthless antagonists meeting brutal ends, and Whitfield, with his sinister grip over the Duttons, is likely no exception. The latest episodes of 1923 have dropped heavy hints that his downfall is imminent, with two particular moments standing out as clear harbingers of his fate. 1. The weight of sins, a biblical reckoning looms. Whitfield, as a character, is a man whose power and influence have shielded him from consequence, until now. His unrelenting pursuit of the Yellowstone ranch through debt, manipulation, and outright cruelty echoes the hubris of classic Western villains. Yet 1923 has taken deliberate steps to foreshadow his demise by framing his actions through a biblical lens. The show has often drawn upon themes of justice and retribution, and the latest episodes double down on this motive. One of the most striking foreshadowing moments occurs when Whitfield's lawyer smugly assures him that his legal maneuvers will leave the Duttons with nothing. Whitfield, basking in the illusion of invincibility, is met with an ominous warning from a seemingly minor character, an old ranch hand who has seen men like him before. Men who take what ain't theirs don't tend to keep it long, he mutters, a line dripping with narrative weight. It's not just a warning, it's a death sentence. Sheridan has always infused his storytelling with an almost biblical sense of justice, where sins eventually demand payment in blood. Whitfield's arrogance, his exploitation of the weak, and his belief that he can outmaneuver fate itself are all classic indicators that he is being set up for a catastrophic downfall. The show's cinematography even reinforces this idea. His estate, an opulent display of wealth and greed, is often shot in stark contrast to the simple, rugged Dutton ranch. This visual juxtaposition mirrors the parable of the rich man and Lazarus, further hinting that Whitfield's empire is built on borrowed time. 2. The shadow of the Duttons' vengeance. While 1923 has meticulously built up Whitfield's influence, it has also carefully laid the groundwork for his inevitable reckoning at the hands of the Dutton family. The second major foreshadowing moment comes from the show's deliberate focus on the returning war-hardened Spencer Dutton, who is a living embodiment of vengeance. Spencer's journey back to Montana has been fraught with obstacles, but his arrival has been framed as that of a savior figure, one who will restore balance to the ranch and settle old scores. 1923 does not introduce a man with his level of skill, trauma, and rage without giving him a worthy opponent. Whitfield, as the primary villain, fits the bill perfectly. In a particularly telling scene, Jacob Dutton and Kara discuss their predicament, with Jacob's weary voice carrying a mix of sorrow and cold certainty. "This fight ain't over," he says, but then his gaze hardens. "Not until Spencer gets here." The weight of this line is immense. It positions Spencer as the executioner of the family's enemies, and Whitfield as the man who is in his sights. Spencer's skill set isn't just that of a cowboy. He is a hardened soldier, trained to hunt, kill, and survive. Unlike previous Dutton enemies, who often underestimated their opponents, Whitfield seems acutely aware that he has made a powerful enemy in the Duttons. The way he nervously eyes Jacob in their interactions, despite outwardly projecting confidence, suggests that deep down, he knows his fate is not entirely in his own hands. Adding to this foreshadowing is the increasing paranoia creeping into Whitfield's character. His reliance on hired guns and his need to flaunt power suggest an underlying fear of losing control. In Sheridan's world, fear is often a precursor to downfall. When a villain starts feeling threatened, their days are numbered. Just like Garrett Randall in Yellowstone or Malcolm back before him, Whitfield's growing desperation hints that his eventual fate won't be one of quiet retreat, but a violent and cinematic end. How will Whitfield die? The exact nature of Whitfield's death remains a mystery, but 1923 has set up a number of possibilities. Given the show's thematic emphasis on justice and revenge, It's likely his downfall will be both poetic and brutal.